Andy here, helping you to live your best life. Today I'm going to share with you a little tool that I have been using to help keep my marriage strong. My husband and I have been married for almost 20 years. And like every other couple, we have dumb fights. I don't know what it is, but when you've been married to someone for so long, you have dumb fights over silly stuff. Like, who left the milk out? Does it matter? Like, it's just so funny. Like, this stuff, like, I look back at some of the fights that we've had that were really, like, just really silly. One fight that I remember so deeply is it was my daughter's birthday party, and we had just had like 20 to 30 teenagers in and out of our house for like a couple hours. Like, we had a park right next to our house, so they were like at the park and then back in. We had like a nacho bar. Like, it was a really fun night, and we had lots of kids, and it was a huge success. So we were cleaning the aftermath of having, like, I don't even know how many kids were there, but like 20 to 30 kids in our house that night. So we're cleaning up after all these teenagers, which, let me tell you, is some work. So that was already kind of like, oh, it was a fun night, but now we're like doing the work to clean up. So we were already like, tensions were a little bit higher. We were tired. Kelly and I both like to go to bed early, so we were up late because we had stayed up for the party. So we're both tired. Not a good recipe. So I had pulled out a cabinet to put like the foil away after putting foil on things. And like, normally, like, I just happen to like leave a cabinet out. It's normal. I think that's a human thing to do. And Kelly came, didn't look that the cabinet was open, and he smack dab into it and like got a huge, poor thing, got a huge like bump on his leg. And he was pissed at me for leaving the cabinet open. So like, he was fired up, I was fired up, because like, it wasn't my, like, I look where you're going. Like, you should have looked. Like, I'm doing my job helping. Like, it's not my fault you pinked your feet. And he's mad because I left it open. Why didn't you just take 2 seconds to close it, even though I was still in the process of working? Like, I feel like this was like a fight that has been had in every home of married couples in the world. Like, the old don't leave the cabinet open when you're working together fight. So we were having this fight, and we were really like, it got escalated. And like, we were fighting, and I'm like, I think I said something super hurtful, and it was like, you would be sorry if I wasn't, you would miss me if I hadn't left that, like, you would miss me not having that cabinet open if I were gone. Saying, the point that I was trying to make is like, we love each other. And if I were gone and we didn't have each other, you would miss these small things that we fought over. And he took it as I was like we would get a divorce, and like, I would be gone and you wouldn't have to deal with me. So that was not my intent. My intent was just to come remind him that we are so much in love, and that if the other one was gone, we would miss these dumb fights. That was my intent. That is not the way that it came across. It came across a lot meaner than I had intended it. So we continued to fight. It was continually getting icier and icier and icier in our house. And it didn't seem to find a way to bridge this enormous gap over something so silly that evening. So finally, Kelly, and his righteous anger at me for basically thinking I had told him I wanted a divorce, and that for being dumb enough to leave a cabinet open, dumb fight, people. Like, hindsight 2020, it was a dumb fight. Anyway, so he decided he was going to sleep downstairs in the basement on our pull-out couch. And I was up there getting ready for bed, cleaning up, washing my face, and my heart hurt It hurt so bad that this fight had gotten so out of hand that he was sleeping downstairs. Like, we've been married, like I said, for almost 20 years, and there have been very few times where it has ever gotten to the point where we didn't sleep in the same bed. We always have tried to like work it out to a point where we go to bed happy. Not always happy, but like at least reconciled. So for him to want to sleep in the basement, not in the same bed with me, was not okay with me, and it was scary. It would hurt. So as I was sitting there, I didn't need to cry. I was sitting there, and all these feelings of, how did we get here, flooded my mind, and how much love I actually felt for my husband, and how I had let something so dumb escalate out of control. So I put my jammies on, and I go downstairs, and we have this couch that he's sleeping on. It's like a couch and a half. So it's a big oversized couch, but definitely not big enough for two people by a mile. So I decided that I am going to cuddle up next to him on this couch and hold on to him for dear life till he would talk to me. So I go downstairs and I like get on this couch. It is big enough for one person, but definitely not two. And I'm like trying to crawl on there and cuddle up next to my Kelly and tell him how much I love him. And in that moment where we're like literally trying to balance on this couch without me falling off, he's like, at first he's kind of getting a little cranky with me and like pushing me off. And then he realizes the humor of this situation of us trying to like cuddle on this couch together, trying to balance. And we both just start laughing. And we look at each other and we just said, you know what, I'm so sorry. That is not how we wanted this evening to go. It was a beautiful party for our daughter. Everything had gone so great. And we had let something dumb like a cabinet ruin what could have been a fun night. And it didn't need to get so escalated. So from that point on, I implemented what I call the 5-year rule. So anytime I find myself in a fight where I want to just get all ironed up and fight with Kelly and have a repeat of that scenario, which was not good, I asked myself, will this matter in 5 years? A cabinet, he probably even has, like I brought this story up to him, he probably would have forgotten it. Myself as well. But it does stand out to me because it was such a crazy night. I asked myself, will this matter in 5 years? And if it will, like if it's something that has to do with our children and the direction we're going with them, or with our finances, or something that I really feel deeply about, that I really think matters, it's time to have the fight. It's time to have that conflict, but use that conflict to get to a good place and for communication, and not have it be this terrible fighting situation, but have it be a productive conflict. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, then I let it go. I just let it go. And I decide, you know what? It's not going to matter in a day. It's not going to matter in a week. It's not going to matter in a month. It's not going to matter in a year. And definitely not, it's not going to matter in 5 years. Then I let it go. And it's not worth the fight. And we have been able to say, and now we both kind of do this to each other. And we stop ourselves and we're like, you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to let it go. And it has just breathed a lot of peace into our marriage, and just a lot of chances to say I'm sorry and to let things go and not let things fester and get into a dumb fight about a freaking cabinet.